Ready?
I'm ready.
Hey!
Hey, Greg.
How's it going, man?
Great. Happy Easter to you, my friend.
Happy Easter, man.
Thank you for putting together this beautiful spread.
Yes, my pleasure.
It's fantastic.
Thank you.
And then we have Easter wine and Easter spring water.
We do.
I like it. It's beautiful. This is a fantastic spread. I'm so excited. Thank you. You're unnecessary. You're too kind.
Well, you know, I was thinking today that not only were you my date for Valentine's, but you're also my date for Easter.
Bachelors. Hey, it's better to be together than alone, right?
Bros are better than hoes.
That's right. I don't know. Sometimes a hoe can be fun.
Hoe would be good, right?
Right.
But we don't have access to hoes.
Yeah.
So
We
we're...
start a porn channel.
Yes! What would it be called?
Oh, I don't know. You're the clever
What would
word.
it be called?
You're the clever word, Mike.
Bros and hoes?
Bros and hoes. I don't know.
Well, cheers to
Cheers.
Easter.
Absolutely.
I don't even know which episode this is.
I do not know either. It's our third in a row where you're cooking now. That's awesome. Everybody seems to like those. The reports, the feedback's good.
We had 38 views on our last one, which made it our highest viewed episode.
In a short time, that first one still has a ton of views because it was right. But of a newer podcast, that's fantastic. 38 views
in a 7-day.
That's like a celebrity kind of thing.
Yes, we're getting.
Well, you know, we are now on. You know, we are celebrity. Remember last week I told you that the lady came in that knew me as your friend
Sonia,
from our video. Sonia.
Yes.
From the video.
Yes.
So
Enjoy your meal.
I am.
Enjoy your meal.
A little
I hope
pepper on
everything's
there.
cooked well.
A little pepper on there.
That's good.
I'm gonna go ahead and this wine. It was something I bought for our little podcast, and it's Joseph Carr Napa Valley Cabernet Sauvignon, founder and inventor Joseph Carr. It had a good rating. I took a gamble on it, and I think it's fantastic.
It's good.
It's good. Check it out if you can find it. It's very good.
It's good. Joseph
Carr Cabernet Sauvignon, Napa Valley, and it is I think the year is 2019, which was a pretty good year for cabs anyway.
And it was made in USA.
It is made in the USA, made in California. As is the aerator. We talked about that in the last video. And we actually have made in USA water from Arkansas.
Arkansas.
Yes, it's. I was reading this earlier, and they've been getting water from this for people to drink since 1871 from this spring.
So it's not a river.
It's a spring. It's a natural
or a cesspool.
Spring. Let's see.
Right.
You're welcome. Thank you.
So, dude,
you did most of the work here.
So, dude, I got something to tell you.
All right.
Actually, first, I want to talk about radio.
Okay.
I want to talk about the radio, and here's the reason why.
I used to be a big radio listener. I'm not anymore.
This is exactly why I want to talk about it. So, check it out. So then, a friend of mine who owns a flight school says, "Oh, I'm going to advertise my flight school on the radio on 107.5." And I was like, "Dude, I think you're wasting your money." He was like, "Well, my wife says it's a good idea." And I said, "Well, you know, the last time people listened to the radio was during World War II to find out what was going on. You know, now I think the radio has been replaced by XM radio and the iPod, Apple Music. So your car has
Spotify, stuff like that.
Yeah,
too.
Spotify,
Right.
Tidal, so on and so forth.
But there's not much advertising on there.
Because you pay a premium to not have advertising.
Correct.
So the revenue dollars are going somewhere else.
Yeah.
So then I says to this guy, his name's Austin, I'll say his name. I says to this guy, okay, well, who listens to the radio anymore? He says the parents of the students. I said, well, that's my age. And I don't listen to the radio. I said, you listen to the radio, Austin? He says, no. I said, exactly. People have their iPhone, they Bluetooth it to their car, and they listen to the music they want to listen to.
Mm-hmm. That's certainly the way I do things.
You listen to Led Zeppelin, I'm listening to Duran, and he's listening to New Kids on the Block. Right?
Yeah.
So I said to him, I said, why would you advertise somewhere where you don't even listen to the radio? He said, well, my wife says it's a good idea. I said, well, I think your wife's a good lady, but it's a bad idea.
Well, so interestingly enough, I was messing around in my new Tesla, and it has FM radio on it. I choose to stream because I have a, kind of iconoclast, my tastes are a little bit off kilter, let's say. So, but almost all of them are now streamed or high resolution. I mean, I think there is still a decent amount of people that listen to radio, but not necessarily via the actual broadcast. Like my friend Henry, he listens to WQFS. He listens to 98.7, but it's always streaming. He's not using a radio.
Right.
So there is some market that's like a crossover market. They like the DJ or they like the variety or something. I don't know. But as far as actual broadcast, receiving it on your radio, that's going the way of the dodo, I think.
So I actually read some statistics before our show, and the Google said that there's still a lot of people who listen to the radio.
Mm-hmm.
They gave the demographics, so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
But my own personal experience says that's 100% false.
I think there is others. I think there are still a lot of people so me, I'm all in on electric cars, right? But it's less than 10% of new cars sold are electric. To me, I'm like, why would you buy an ICE car? Which stands for internal combustion engine car. But, pepper. Yes, yeah. Oh, there's plenty of it. Anyways, there's plenty of people that are going to wait until they have to switch. People getting comfortable with things. I know a fair number of people that I work with that will listen to the radio in their car to work. Now,
the actual
when
radio,
they're at home, yes,
terrestrial radio.
Yeah, when they're at home, they don't. But it's the drive time thing. So if he's advertising like the morning show or something, he could get a pretty good return on that. But just random times during the day, no. It's either evening drive or morning show. I think the only time he would have a good chance of getting, decent kind of penetration to the market.
All right, so then here's a question for you.
That's my take.
What is the future of terrestrial radio?
As long as the companies can make money from streaming, they will continue to broadcast it over the regular broadcast because they already have in place the infrastructure for it. So it's all about whether they can make money. But again, because the infrastructure is there, I believe they'll keep doing it as long as they're making money.
So the infrastructure is there.
Mm-hmm.
But John, will people listen to terrestrial radio? I don't.
I don't either. But we're not everybody. We're unique, right?
I don't.
But
I think in
well,
that
what I'm
sense,
saying is that you don't have to listen to it as a terrestrial radio thing. There are a lot of people that still stream it. I think Google's statistics probably are right.
Well,
it's odd to me. I literally set up the radio stations in case I had cellular difficulty in my Tesla. That's the only reason I put them in there. Because I can listen. It has an FM antenna, so if for some reason my cellular data wasn't reacting right, which every once in a while in certain areas will get flaky, I still have sound. So
you know what?
But I rarely ever use it.
All right. So let's talk about this food.
It's delicious.
It's delicious.
Yeah.
Crab cakes, carrots, broccoli.
Very healthy too.
$24
for the whole meal.
For the whole meal, $24.
That's spent more money on the wine.
The wine's more expensive.
But the way I looked at it, it's Easter, so I was doing a special occasion sort of thing. You know, you're not normally going to spend that. You could get a decent wine for $12, $13. And then you have the whole meal still under $35.
This is why I have you around, because you bring over expensive wine.
Of course, that's the only reason.
No, that's not true. Not true.
Prost, friendship.
Prost, Freundschaft.
Freundschaft.
Freundschaft. So let's do some news.
Let's get down to it.
Are you ready?
Sure. Let's keep this brief for the holiday broadcast.
It's going to be what's going to be.
It is going to be what's going to be.
News. Okay.
All right.
Ron DeSantis is doing some crazy shit
in Florida
concerning Disney.
Right.
There's a board there. Police. What's going on?
Okay, so last year, Florida came up with this law that restricted what teachers could teach in classroom to youngsters about sexuality related to, whether Johnny has two moms or whatever. Anyway, you can't talk about that.
And Johnny has two milks.
Yeah, there you go. But, well, that's what we would want, but not necessarily them. So, anyways.
Johnny has two moms with two Subarus. Johnny lives in a Subaru family.
So anyway, so that became
Shout
nicknamed.
Subaru.
Shout Subaru, yeah. So that became nicknamed the Don't Say Gay Bill. And in response to that, the previous CEO of Disney said that it's just not right. It's not fair. Normally, a corporation wouldn't speak out about that. But he was like, well, we have a lot of people that work in our company that are upset about it because we employ people by qualification, not based on, their sexual orientation and that stuff. And Ron DeSantis' response to that was, oh, yeah? Well, you may have this Reedy Creek deal that you did back in the 60s to get you to build Disney World here, but I'm going to mess that up. So he creates gets this law changed where he's going to have this board overseeing how Disney functions in this Reedy Creek district, which is briefly what it is. It is all the land that Disney owns. They are allowed to operate it like a little city, a little town. They're responsible for, every aspect of the town, whether it be water, sewer, the police department, the fire department, whatever. They're responsible for all that. And there's a special tax exemption for that because that allows them to use that what would be they'd be paying taxes on to operate those services. And Ron's like, heck no, big badass me, I'm going to show you I'm Trumpy. Is really what all this is about, I think.
Uh-huh.
And so he gets this law changed. Anyways, so what happened recently, is that when this new board came on in February, right before it, Disney, Bob Iger's back at Disney, he's sharp as a tack. So he's like, okay, well, we understand how this is set up. We understand what the laws are. We're going to set up this agreement, and our current board's going to agree to it. It extends our capability to do this over 30 more years, even with this board. Basically, the board has no power.
The Disney board.
The new board that DeSantis is putting in place will have essentially no power because of this move that they did. And the people that came in from him said, yeah, that's pretty much the case. We can't do anything. So now Ron's up there whining about it. And
that's called a cock block.
Yeah, there you go.
Cock block.
Yeah. So
legislative.
They did everything by the rules. Disney did. They said, okay, you did this. Instead of filing a lawsuit or any of that, we got a workaround. And then he comes, he's mad at them. He's a whiny little brat. He's a bully. He comes back and he's like, the heck with you. I'm going to go. I almost want to read that little thing he said, but he's like, it's just so whiny. He's like, well, I'll show you. I'm a governor that does things. All these other governors just sit around and they just wait till something's going to go away. Blah, blah, blah. They hope it dies. I'm going to push and prod, and I'm going to show that I'm tough. Next governor ain't going to have to do anything because I take the meat off the bone or some crazy thing like that. He is nuts. I don't know why people like him so much. The economy's good. I don't think that has much to do with him. I mean, yeah, they're low tax and there's some good things. He hadn't screwed up, but
Florida's been doing well for many, many years.
Yeah, there's many people with money coming in there.
Turn things around and make things better, right?
No, they were not failing before he came in. In fact, Rick Scott, who is now in the Senate, he was much less nippy. He's very conservative, or whatever they call it these days. It's not really conservative, but but he didn't do this kind of showboating stuff. But even when it was handed off, to him, Rick Scott, it was still doing good. Florida hadn't done bad in a long time. I was living there in the 60s and 70s, and it was cranking right along. So much migration there. There's always money coming in. That's why they don't have a state sales tax, because they have so much money from tourism too.
In Florida.
In Florida, yeah. They can, and then of course one thing is up here you have very few toll roads. Down there, a lot of roads are toll. That's how you pay for them instead of collecting taxes, usage tax. So it makes some sense, and it's pretty easy these days with electronic toll stuff. You don't even have to stop and throw anything in the bucket or anything. So.
All right, so
he's a dick. That's right. Did I say that?
He's a dick.
Yeah.
No problem. DeSantis is. That's the good thing about America. We can say things and put it on TV.
That's right.
It works.
Yeah.
It's legal. There's no problems.
Yep.
You just can't threaten public officials, which is fair.
You have to be careful about threatening
Unless you're
anybody.
Trump, you can threaten people.
You can do whatever you want.
Right. So, we just had another intro of the news.
Mm-hmm.
Question for you. Last week, Trump got indicated.
That's right.
All right.
That was funny.
What is going on with him? Seems like things are kind of like on the back burner, simmering on a low boil, just simmering, waiting to see what happens.
Yeah, I mean,
there's not a lot of movement right now.
No. I mean, you got the bigger, like we've talked about it before, you got the bigger lawsuits in Georgia and then the one with the documents and January 6th and all that. And
I heard that the January 6th and the Georgia shit is not on the back burner for those DAs. I heard that they're working hard.
Oh yeah, they're working on it. Yeah, it's not on the back burner.
To get them hammered.
We're just not hearing stuff about it.
Right. Because they work in secrecy.
Mm-hmm.
But and Trump,
under Merrick Garland, who should be on the Supreme Court.
He should be. But
you all know if you watch us what's about that. Look it up.
Merrick Garland, yeah. But we can thank Mitch Mitchell for that one.
Mitch McConnell, yeah.
Yeah. So, gosh, I was going to say something.
I'm sorry, I missed you.
Man, what was I going to say?
with the marijuana.
Yes, I remember. So then, here's what I was going to say. Trump is right in one way.
Okay.
It is un-American to get indicted, because if I were indicted, it would also be un-American.
I do like the logic there.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
I like the logic.
if you arrest me, it's un-American.
Heck yeah.
Because I'm American.
That's right.
I love Jesus. I love four-wheel drive vehicles, so on and so forth.
Oh yeah.
If you arrest me, that's like arresting Christ himself. And if you arrest Trump, it's like arresting Christ himself. Or Nelson Mandela, according to Marjorie Taylor Greene.
That's right. Yeah. So, yeah. Well, I mean, one thing, he certainly made a heck of a lot of money off of his supporters in this.
$7 million he's made since he's been indicted.
Yeah.
$7 million.
I'd say these are, I don't mean to be mean, but I think they're foolish people. I mean, he doesn't need it. It's not going to change anything, but they still keep giving him money.
So, okay, so then watch this.
Okay.
Getting indicted for paying off a porn star
To stay quiet.
brings back $7 million.
Right.
Okay?
Which he, of course, wanted to do for two reasons. One, so his wife wouldn't find out, hopefully, because his baby was like 3 months old or something, but also it was mainly about the campaign. He didn't want people to know about it. It might affect the election.
For the legal argument, you want to say campaign. You don't want to say about his wife.
Right. But I'm just saying it's multifaceted.
Right.
But campaign was the main thing.
I don't think I'd want you to be a juror on his.
Sure you would. I'm always fair.
Yeah, but you might like say, oh yeah, well, maybe they shouldn't have indicted him.
No.
You would find him guilty?
Absolutely. You know me well enough.
Okay, good. So then I had a line of thought and it got derailed.
Okay. Something I said.
Well, I was saying something and then
I interjected.
Yeah.
Well, go with your point. You probably got a good point.
I don't remember it.
Oh.
I don't remember it.
Well, so you were going on with something about being indicted is not American.
Right.
He was right about that. He
Right.
said he was right about it not being American because you wouldn't want to be indicted, and
I wouldn't want to be indicted.
Yeah.
But there was a greater point.
Well, that was your how you started.
Right, but there was a greater point.
Sorry about that.
No,
Audience.
it's okay. It's your show. You set all this stuff up.
No,
you're the director. You're the producer.
You're the guy that does it all. Even make dinner.
Yeah. So then, I guess I was saying Trump got indicted. I think I'd say it's also un-American.
Right.
But there was something else.
Well, it'll come to you.
Oh, I'm not gonna worry about it.
It'll come to you.
Can you pour me some more wine?
Absolutely. I think you deserve it.
Yes. So, Trump's hemmed up. When do you think the further indictments are going to come down the tube?
I think some of them are definitely going to come this year. I think all of them are probably going to come this year. How many of those actually end up going to some kind of jury this year is probably slim. Because he's going to, like it always does, throw a bunch of roadblocks of challenging lawsuits or this or that or whatever. He's a professional challenger of things. Rarely ends up in court.
Shout out to your mom.
Yes.
She sent a cool email.
Yes, which inspired the DeSantis discussion.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, Mary, for the nice, long response. I think she's the only person that responds to our shit.
She's pretty regular customer. She does a good job.
Well, she knows good stuff when she sees it.
Absolutely. It has nothing to do with the fact that her son happens to be on the show.
Exactly. Nothing to do. Right. Exactly. Her number one son, her favorite son.
Nothing to do with that. She just knows good.
Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Mom.
You're awesome, Mom.
You're awesome, Mom.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter. So, I want to tell you a story.
Okay.
So, I was talking to a girl from Ukraine.
Okay.
Whose name, we will not say her name.
Is this one that was...
We're not going to say her name.
No, we're not going to say her name. I was just wondering...
Don't fuck up this interview.
No, I'm not. I was going to say, is this something you've talked about before that's completely new?
You and I had a conversation earlier tonight about...
Well, that was... No, I understand that. I just thought that was something we talked about a few months ago. But anyways, shut up, John. Go ahead. Story.
You're going to fuck up my thought process. Don't fuck it up.
I'm going to shut up.
So.
I'm behind.
Eat. Please. I finished.
Yes.
See, that's proof.
I'm talking too much.
That's proof. So if we go over, it's your fault.
Of course.
So, I was speaking with this girl from Ukraine. And so, I'm really curious about what's going on and, you know, how life is and what she's up to and, like, you know, how she's coping with it and her family and blah, blah, blah. And I don't want to give out too many details about our conversations. However, I asked her all these questions. I might have asked her 100 questions. But we got on this topic of her apartment in Mariupol.
Where they had to leave, like...
Yeah. So then she was somewhere else. She was in Kyiv when Mariupol got invaded. Okay. So then in Mariupol, she had a car. She had a nice house. You know, nice garden. Her clothes. You know, her everything. A TV. Everything was there. She had everything there, and in a beautiful apartment. And while she was away in Kyiv, the Russians came, right? Mm-hmm. So then what they did was they looted everybody and everything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So they got to her apartment. And we know this because she told me that her neighbor went to her apartment. Because she says to her neighbor, hey, can you check my apartment and see if my safe is still there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the neighbor's thinking, oh, well, you know, there must be money in the safe. So the neighbor calls her up and says, you don't have a safe in your apartment. She says, you gotta be kidding me. She says, no, there's no safe. So come to find out, there was not money in the safe. So the Russians steal this fucking safe. Mm-hmm. They take it back to Russia or wherever they take shit. Mm-hmm. And so they might have spent a day or two with a blowtorch.
Some way to get into it.
Right, splitting it apart. Mm-hmm. Right, getting it apart, right?
It's all seen in the movies, right?
Right, yeah. And they're thinking, I'm going to get some money. They open it up. And guess what they find?
Gold?
They don't find gold. They find sex toys. So the fucking Russians find sex toys, dildos, vibrators, so on and so forth.
That's crazy.
In a safe.
That's crazy.
Could you imagine being a Russian soldier invading a country, stealing a safe, taking it back home or wherever you take it, busting it apart, thinking you're going to get money, and you find a bunch of dildos?
That's too funny.
Is that not incredible?
That is brilliant on her part. How about the rest of the apartment? Was it in okay condition?
We don't know.
Okay. The friend didn't give.
We have no idea. Or maybe I didn't ask.
Okay.
I think after
You were just laughing so hard.
Right, after the dildo story, I don't think I asked any more questions about, hey,
how the apartment was.
How was your wallpaper?
Right.
Are your carpets stained? Did they lock the door behind them? Right, I forgot to ask that. So
understandably so.
So after the sex toy story, I was like, that's kind of badass because the soldiers got fucked in the end.
Yeah.
They took this big heavy safe, right? I don't know, a couple 100 pounds. Who knows how much it weighed, right?
Right.
But they lugged it around.
Yep.
I mean, it was a lot of effort. So I guess you could say there's one happy story where the Russians got fucked.
A little sweet revenge there in a way. Except she doesn't have her sex toys anymore.
She does not have her sex toys anymore.
That's a very valuable collection.
Yes, but you can buy more.
You can always buy more.
Right? That's the good part about sex toys.
Half full approach.
If your country gets invaded and they get stolen, buy another one.
Makes a lot of sense. So that's good. That's the good news of the day.
That's the good news of the day.
Of course, for all the Christians out there that believe in Easter being where Jesus rises from, the dead, it's kind of a little bit. They might think that's better news. But
so Easter is when Jesus rose from the dead.
Yeah.
What is celebrated when he got nailed to the cross?
Isn't that Good Friday or something?
Is that Good Friday? Why is it good?
I don't know.
That'd be a bad day.
That'd be a bad thing. That'd be a bad day.
That'd be a bad day. It should be called Bad Friday.
They celebrate because in the end he rose from the dead.
I have some dessert.
Okay.
Yeah. Check it out. Chips Ahoy party size.
Party size. There you
Chips
go.
Ahoy. Well, yeah. Get her done.
Well, I need to catch up with you on the wine thing because I don't think it would go very well with the cookies.
Man, wine goes well with everything.
Well, the chocolate and the Pinot could go. Chocolate and the Cabernet could go well together.
Yes.
Well, we'll give it a try here.
You can dip it in like milk.
I'm not going to do that. You're a very clever and silly man.
Ask me a question about aviation.
Greg, what is the one thing when you're going to fly somewhere that you always are prepared for?
An emergency.
An emergency.
Yes. You always prepare for an emergency.
Prepare for emergency.
Yes.
And especially when you are flying your own plane.
What does that consist of is the next question.
Correct.
Right. An emergency consists of alternate airports, consists of fields beneath you. It does.
I get it. You might have to land.
Right? I would say alternate airports, fields beneath you, and
well, most emergencies are going to be related to the engine to stop operating.
Well,
because what do you have to do? You could have instrument failure too.
Mm-hmm.
So then you need a visual way to find a safe place to land.
Or if you have an instrument issue, you have an alternate way to fly by instruments without instruments, which is an iPad hooked up to your Garmin 750 that has ARs connected to it, which gives you an artificial horizon.
So if you have cellular service, then you got a backup. So if you're too high, then you have to go lower, but your Garmin...
The iPad is hooked up to the Garmin 750 by Bluetooth. The Garmin 750 is hooked up to satellites.
Right, but if the Garmin is part of the failure, that's all I was thinking. I was thinking
when you say instruments,
those are, yes, I got you.
There would be vacuum instruments.
I got you.
In my
the
vacuum instruments.
Specific old school,
right?
You know, what's your level,
right.
what's your
now,
airspeed.
Conversely, if you're flying a jet and you have GPS issues, you then navigate VOR to VOR to an MON, which is called an
MON.
An MON is called a minimum operational network. So that would be an airport that has either an ILS approach or a VOR approach.
Okay. Very good. No wonder you keep passing your test. You're well studied, man. Very nice.
Let me finish your wine and let's go fly.
It's only, 2 glasses of wine. I think you'll be okay.
I hope a Russian shoved one of her dildos right in their fucking asses.
Cheers to that. What little bit left there?
Cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
And did not enjoy it.
Hopefully not. Yes. What would be that? That wouldn't be good.
Well, good, man. So?
Very good. Excellent. Happy Easter, everyone.
There it is, outro music.
Well, Greg, thank you once again for being such a great host. Great meal. Always fun.
Fucking Wuhan Talk doing well.
Wuhan Talk's doing well, huh?
Doing well.
Did they have 38 views in the first week of their last one?
No, they're not baller like us.
I mean, come on. We do have a 1.5 year lead time on them, but I like those guys. Well, at least the one that I know. I don't know the
Marcus
other.
Renner.
Yes, I know Marcus. I don't know the other song.
So, your new Tesla, how's it going?
Oh my God. It's so awesome.
Doing well?
Amazingly, it's not only better in almost every way, but it's faster yet feels smoother. Strangely. So I am a very, very happy camper. We got to get you out and let you drive it sometime here.
I'm gonna check it out. Well, want to say goodbye?
For sure.
Thank you, bro.
Goodbye for now. We'll do another show when we get done.
We'll do another show. So cheers, right?
Yeah.
Cheers.
And that was our Made in America thing earlier here.
That's right. Cheers.
Cheers.